Hey, what's going on, guys? This space that I typically use for reviews and unboxings, obviously for my reviews I pull down the backdrop there, but it's getting a little bit boring for myself and I imagine probably for some of you as well, so I've been meaning to do an update to it. Now, a lot of you probably know of my channel mostly as a review channel, but at least for myself, personally, I've always thought of myself more as a modeler that also does reviews, because reviews I know are important for you guys. Guys like watching reviews. I like making reviews as well, but modeling is where my true passion is, the actual like working on the kits and all of that. So I wanted to update my space to reflect that a little bit more, so it actually looks more like a just modeling space in general. Now I do have a second desk actually over there, which was meant to be like my more modeling space, and this is the review space, but that desk is often just completely messy, so I need to work on getting that organized. We're gonna do some updates here. So it's going to be kind of a transition time here where I'm just sort of reorganizing my working spaces here just to sort of reflect again a more focus on modeling, especially now that I'm doing this full time. Now I want to be able to focus on a lot more of the modeling things, like I said, working on more works in progress tutorials and things like that that I'm trying to work on more so now that I have more time to do that stuff. And so the good folks at HobbyZone have sent me a big box of stuff here that is going to be really helpful for that. So if you guys don't know, HobbyZone makes these desk organizers. They're just these boxes that all kind of fit all together, and they have different uses and things. So they let me pick out a few from their selection there and then sent these to me, and it's a really big heavy box. I'm going to pull this up here and we'll pull out the different ones. I'll show you what I got, and I'll show you how I'm going to temporarily set them up here, and then that might change once again, like I said, as I'm getting everything organized, but at least I'll give you guys a look at these and so you can see what they're like. I've heard they're really awesome. I know like online I've seen like there's other brands and things that have like very similar products, but to me, based on what I've just doing my research and everything, looking into the different ones, I think these HobbyZone ones definitely look the best. I think these are like the original, this is the original company that made them, and they just look better than the imitations. So that's my personal opinion based on what I've seen, but I'm looking forward to checking them out and finding out for myself. Okay, so like I said, this box is quite large and very heavy, and I'm pretty sure this would be the bottom of the box. This is the side that UPS Customs opened for me. Thank you very much. And inside here, you can see here is what the individual boxes are going to look like, and it looks like UPS even opened up one of these and retaped it closed. So I guess they were doing a little investigating. So yeah, if you end up ordering a few of these, you'll just get a larger box, and then they're just packed in individual boxes, or if you're just ordering one, you'll just get the one like this. Now you'll notice on here they've got this sticker here, but this doesn't exactly indicate what's in this particular box. It's not like this one here, because they all have the same sticker, so it's just an advertisement for just the different stuff that they sell there. You can tell what's actually in this particular box by this little sticker here. Just has the bottle size universal model bottle module. This is the HC0M05U, for example. So I'll pull out all of these and we'll get them stacked up and go through each and every one of these to see which ones I got. So there it is, all 12 units that came in my order, and also some other little stuff here. This is just kind of an advertisement for their magnetic connections and just kind of showing off what you can make. If you buy a load of these, you can make a whole thing like that and some different stuff. It's all basically just what's featured on their website. If you go to the website, this is like on the front page, and just once again showing the different stuff that they have available. Got that, and then these are all just different stickers. So there's a few different types of stickers here. HobbyZone stickers, HobbyZone stickers, HobbyZone stickers. So it's pretty cool stickers there. But alright, let's I guess make our way through putting these together then, shall we? The first one we're going to start off with here is HGOM02B Drawers Module X2. So I'm not going to do a whole unboxing and showing the building process of all 12 of these, just for this first one, just so you guys can get an idea, and then we'll take a look at everything once it's all done. But just so you guys can see what exactly it's going to look like right in the box here. We've just got all the parts, so there will be of course some assembly required for these. So we've got this, this would be the assembly instructions for this. So on the front there, you can see what the finished product is supposed to look like, a description of the magnets inside here, and then just again the instructions for just how this is going to go together. You can see all the pieces that should be included, and then the instructions for that. So once you pull out everything, just make sure you don't lose these. These are going to be your actual magnets you need to use for this. So you've just got a set of 8, that's 2 for each side of this that you can use. So just make sure, again, when you're unpacking everything and like taking out the bubble wrap and everything, don't accidentally drop these, lose these, throw these away or anything. So now these are going to need to fit into the holes here, and I'm not exactly sure yet how well these are just going to stay in. I've heard that it might be good to use glue, but it seems really tight, so I don't know if glue is really going to be all that necessary for these. Now, according to the instructions here, it does recommend using some wood glue for this, and then also just a hammer, paper tape, and a damp cloth just for helping with the assembly of this. So you will have to use some glue just for the assembly. As for the magnets, it recommends just popping them into place just with a hammer. Now I'm pretty sure around here I do have a rubber mallet, so I'm going to try to use that instead, so I'm not banging on those with a hammer. I'm not sure how safe. It recommends using a hammer, but just in case, I'm going to try to find my rubber mallet that I have. But so it's going to take some time to get all 12 of these all put together, so let me work on these and then we'll come back and take a look at the finished results here in a little while. Alright, so after a few days of work, as it did take a little bit of time to get these all put together, having 12 of them to build, these look great. I can't wait to get everything stocked up into these, and this is not the final arrangement. I'm actually going to be moving them over to my other desk, and I'll be changing up the arrangement of them, but just wanted to give you guys a look at how they look just all put together and fresh and clean like this, because it looks great, and my room smells so woody fresh now. We'll go through and take a look at some of these individually, and you can see how that's going to work. Now why don't we go ahead and take a look at the 2 smaller ones first. Now these are smaller in that these aren't as wide, as most of them are 30 centimeters wide. These ones, the smaller size, are 20 centimeters wide. Otherwise the dimensions are the same. The depth is 15 centimeters, the height is 15 centimeters. But they, as far as I know, I don't think they make any 15 centimeter square boxes. It's either just 20 or 30 centimeters wide. So these are the smaller ones. So this type has obviously the tall size drawers and just nothing in there, but we have a nice little clear plexiglass part there for a little window on the front so you can see. Now with these taller size drawers, I was wondering if they're gonna maybe get stuck just because of the nature of them, and you can see it is like sticking a little bit. That's because it's not up against anything. Once it's actually all stuck together and there's actually some weight and it's holding it in place, the drawer I think shouldn't be quite so sticky, but you can see the air flow is actually pushing out the other drawer a little bit like that. But again, once it's all full, I think it'll act a little bit differently. But while I say this is light, I do mean that relatively, because actually this does have a good weight to it. They are pretty heavy, so you can see why the shipping is maybe going to cost a little bit for these, because they're quite heavy, especially if you're ordering a bunch of them. And this other one here is just for smaller drawers like that. Again, just a plexi part there at the front, and then just empty drawers like that. So I mean, it worked pretty well, and these have the magnets on the top and bottom and 2 on each side. So you got the 2 here on the sides and the 2 on the top and bottom. Now you have to really pay attention to the way you're putting those in. You're putting them in the right way so that everything's gonna line up, because I did have a couple where I put them in the wrong way and I had to knock them out and then put them back in the other way so that they're able to actually fit together. So you just put them together like that, and then they fit together really strongly. So you can see I can move these around together like that, and then they also of course fit on top of each other as well. The magnets on top and bottom, so that you're able to rearrange these in any way that will suit your needs. So that does seem pretty convenient. So those are the 2 smaller ones, and I did want to get a set of corner pieces as well. Now the corner pieces are still in the same dimensions. They're 30 centimeters long and 30 centimeters deep, so you just have to kind of pretend that this is a square sort of in measuring that. So the thing that I don't like about corner pieces is that ultimately you'll always have some wasted space, as now if you're having this like in the corner of your desk, you've got this triangular space in the background that's just kind of going to be wasted unless you find some other sort of use for that, which is not too bad if you're not stacking this up too high and you have a really tall triangular space in the back. Maybe a little bit harder to find something to fit in there. But also these paint racks like this, I also find a little bit of waste of space, just because you can stack stuff up and then you still have some space, you know, up behind there that you just can't really put anything. That said, this is, I think, probably the most useful of the different types. There's 3 different types of them. This one is just the free type, where it doesn't have the individual like separators between your paint bottles. There are ones that do have the individual separators, and they come in 2 different sizes. One is the smaller size, which should be more fitting for like Vallejo or Gaia Notes paint bottles, a little bit smaller, thinner type paint bottles. There's another one that's more for like Mr. Color size paint bottles, a little bit shorter and fatter ones. This one's just free, so you can kind of put whatever on it. I probably don't even intend to put a lot of paint on here. I'm not sure yet. I haven't quite decided exactly how I'm going to rearrange everything. That's going to be a work in progress, but just because of the fact that this is free, I mean, you can put just kind of anything you want on here. And you do have some space underneath. I guess you could like stick something up in there as well. To go underneath that, I just got this one, which is just kind of a big empty storage space. You can just kind of put stuff in there. It does have a shelf on the inside, which is not, obviously, as you can see, fully covering this whole inside part. Is a little bit kind of cut out section there in the center, so you could kind of put taller things up here in the front, but you do have some storage space on the first and second level there inside. So basically just a big storage space for just kind of putting whatever will fit in there. And then for underneath that, I got a corner drawer unit. Now this one obviously is going to have some wasted space in here as well, just because this center drawer just fits in there square, and then you've got some kind of areas there on the side where there's kind of just nothing up inside there. So I guess if you wanted to be sneaky, you could maybe stick something up in there, and you'd have to remove this drawer in order to get at it. But this center drawer also is pretty interesting because it has a divider in it like that, so you've got 8 little smaller spaces, and you can easily just remove this if you don't want to have that divider in there. Then you just got a tall storage space like that. And the smaller drawers just work the same as the drawers we saw on the smaller unit. They're just small little drawers like that for just putting in whatever, so that works for. And this one was the most complicated of all the ones that I had to build, just because it had the most pieces of it. So this one is quite heavy because it's got the 4 or 5 drawers and then all the different part separators, and it's just a big corner piece. Now another thing too is that most of these, between the actual pieces of wood, when you're putting them together, the pieces are completely cut out, but a few of them, the pieces weren't entirely cut out. They had sort of like gates between the pieces of wood where they were not fully cut out. They had little kind of bridges where just you had to cut that, and so you had to do some sort of like a little bit of nub removal, sort of, if you will, just kind of cleaning up the wood edges before you could glue them together. So this one was one of those that had that, so this one did definitely take the longest to build probably. Alright, so the next one obviously here is for putting all the different sorts of brushes here. You have a bunch of different, looks like 3 different sizes here, small, medium, and large size holes there. You also have some space down here at the bottom where you can just like rest your tools in there, something like that. And then this little bar over here on the side is for holding different nippers and things. You can just stick that on there and your nippers will just hang on there. You can just pull those out as you need, so that should be pretty convenient. This one you can store a lot of like the tools that you're really going to be using a lot, and I like that it's open, it's easy access. You can just grab stuff like that and not having to worry with drawers or anything. So like this I think will probably one of the most useful ones. Then we have this big wide drawer unit, just 2 separate drawers here, and this one also has dividers, but you can take out the dividers if you want to just have this as just a big empty space, or you could just take out a couple of the dividers and, for example, just make it something like this, whatever is going to best suit your needs. So I like the customizability of that. So this one, while it seems pretty simple on the outside, is pretty nicely customizable inside, so I think this one will also be ultimately pretty useful. And then we've got basically the 30 centimeter version of the smaller one we took a look at before. It's just tall drawers here, and we just got 3 of them instead of 2, so this one will be just kind of the same as the smaller one there. And another pretty interesting one here is this one with the plexiglass. So this is kind of like the corner drawer that's just kind of like a shelf storage unit, but this one has this little plexiglass cover here on the front, which can open up like that. So it's just all hinged on a little kind of peg of the plexiglass that sticks off to the side. That's just in the hole here. So this is another one where you really have to pay attention when you're putting it together. Make sure you're putting it together the right way. You're not flipping these upside down or anything. You got to make sure that everything lines up so that this will fit on there right. But that just fits into there, and then it's pretty easy to just push that at the top there to open that up for access. So this is really nice for if you're working on little works in progress, especially if you were doing like a little figure painting, Warhammer or something like that. This would seem especially useful. But anything like smaller, or just like a few pieces maybe that you're working on, and maybe you're gonna do something dusty or something that's gonna make a kind of a mess, you can just make sure you're keeping your stuff that you're working on clean and safe. Just stick it in there with this closed up, and that should be pretty convenient. And I guess also you could just use this as just a small display case too, if you want to maybe just keep a few of your smaller models just here, like on display, right at your workspace, or just, you know, anywhere. I guess it doesn't have to be in your workspace, but if you're going to be having this like amongst all your other HobbyZone stuff, could be cool. Now, as for the size of this, I'm just going to grab this because it's nearby. You could display at least a smaller high grade, at least not a very tall high grade Gundam kit would be able to fit up in there like that, and you've got a little bit of space. So you can see you could store like a couple of high grades in there. You know, you'd still have, again, just the shelf in the back. You could omit the shelf in the center if you wanted to. If you didn't want to have that in there, that would be up to you. And then we've got the triple wide drawer here. This one is basically the same as the double drawer, the wide one, as it does have the same separators inside. So once again, you can choose to customize this as you want. I don't have mine glued into place. You could glue them into place if you want, but just for the sake of being able to customize these. And this one, I'm thinking probably going to maybe just omit all of these and use this as a good storage space for storing decals, just keeping the decals kind of separated into different types. You know, I can keep one type in here and just omit this separator part in the center. Possibly that's what I'm thinking about for this, but I do have a lot of decals, so keeping them organized in some way will be nice. And the last couple here, one more is just another paint rack to keep just kind of on the top level. Obviously you can't put anything on top of this. This one will just connect to the side of the curved one there, just for more storage space for paints or whatever you want to keep up on top of this. And then the last one, just kind of another standard drawer unit here, just a 2x3. So again, just similar to the smaller one we took a look at first. You just got 6 little drawers here without any separators or anything, just small drawers for keeping whatever you want in there. So that is it. And so for now, this is just part 1 of this video, guys, as I just wanted to go through just the kind of unboxing and review sort of just the HobbyZone stuff here. And then the next stage is going to be actually putting this stuff to use. So like I said, I need to get my other desk all cleaned up, get these installed over there, and then get everything all rearranged and everything. Once all of that is all ready, I'll do a new desk tour video where I'll take a look and I'll show you guys how I've actually put everything into place and how I'm going to actually be using everything. So I'll have that for you guys as soon as it's ready. I'll be working on that soon though, as it's the new year. Figure it's a perfect time to kind of rearrange, get some new working space going, and make some changes here around the channel. So, well, this is it for part 1. I just want to say a huge thank you to HobbyZone for sending this stuff to me. This stuff looks awesome. I can't wait to use it, and it's going to work really well, I think, for just my video shooting space and just working space in general, of course, just for making cool stuff. So yeah, guys, definitely check out some of this HobbyZone stuff. And if you're wanting to order a few of these, or a bunch of them, or 12 of them, obviously it's going to cost a little bit, and especially with the shipping of them, like I said, they're a little bit heavy, so the shipping is going to be a little expensive too. But I think they're going to be really, really convenient, and that's the thing. You're going to be maybe having to pay a little bit for them, but just the convenience of having just a nice, clean, working space to work with, I think is very good for staying motivated, staying creative in the things that you're working on. If you just got your desk space just all super messy all the time, I don't know, I guess it depends on the purpose. Some people like a messy space, but I think it's probably a little bit easier to work if you've got a nice, clean, organized space, and for me, that's what I really like about these. So these are, of course, also available on USA Gundam Store, but just check and see what we've got in stock there. Hopefully we'll be able to get more of these. If you guys are showing some solid interest in them, we'll be able to get some more in circulation there in the US for you guys. That's gonna be it here for part 1, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.